So once you've begun, it should only take about 15 to 20 minutes to finish the whole thing. I'm doing it in fast mo here because I've memorized. So I'm doing the whole bass line in one take. And you can see that's going down well. I've got the metronome in my headphones and I'm just playing the guitar straight in. Leaving it ring for a while, remembering to save, arming the next track. This time it'll be the chords on beats 2 and 4. So it's all super fast so it doesn't waste your time, but you can't actually hear it. But what you can see is the shape. Notice that the shapes are not touching the border. Remember, that means your microphone's up too high. If you start getting clipping, there was a little bit of clipping in that guitar one. Okay, so that sounds good. I had a bit of a listen. I armed the next track, and that's the vocal melody. But because I've forgotten the words, I popped over to OneNote so I could read them. But the Mixcraft project is still going on in the background, and I can hear the accompaniment that I've already laid down in the earlier tracks in my headphones, so that's keeping me in time. At that point, you could have probably turned off the metronome. You can see that was a bit loud, so I'm taking the microphone down and muting that one. Can you see how it's all square looking? So I did a retake with a lower microphone level, but I cut a little bit of this out of the video because it was too boring. But you can see the second version looks a bit slimmer. Maybe I would have done a third one to get a happy medium, but that sounded okay. So I'm just deleting the top one because I don't need it anymore. I'm having a listen back to that one. I think it sounds okay. I'm trimming off a little bit of the junky silence at the beginning and ends, which had a bit of clicking from my computer. And now I'm doing the instrumental accompaniment. I did it on guitar because I can't reach the piano now while I'm making this video. But in an ideal situation, I would have taken the computer and the microphone over to the piano so I could have had a bit of contrast with my accompaniment instrument. And I trimmed off the junk. I had another listen to check it was all sort of sounding okay. Seemed fine. I was changing the levels on the side to make sure to balance the layers, and then I started playing around with FX. If you press the little FX button, and then there's little drop-down menus, and you can play with them and see what they sound like. Obviously we're going for fairly natural sound, so not too much reverb or funny extreme sort of nightclub effects on this particular assignment. A bit of filtering and compressing is what I suggest. Finally, I did a little tiny bit of just showing you how you can split things up and move them around by dragging. If things were a bit unsynchronized because you sang or played a little bit out of time. But mine were pretty good because I always had the metronome on in the background. But if you take the snap off, you can move things around. You've probably done that before. Don't forget to save. You can solo individual tracks to double check if you like the effects you put on them. And listen to it again.